And so it is. And so indeed it is. Do we all agree? Are you ready for the more? Are you ready to be the more? Wow, more of us are awake today than we have been in a while. Now that's going to mean a very good day for you and for all those around and about you. Because you're going to show up as that glowing, glorious thing. And you are going to make the difference without even knowing it really, or realizing it, just by being you. The little Dr. Seuss thing is really, today you are you. That's truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. Don't you love that? I love Dr. Seuss. Now I know there's controversy around Dr. Seuss and all that. But you know, you have to understand the times in which things occur and happen. And I think about the little children's rhymes that they used to rhyme off. And there were words in there that really were obnoxious. Most little kids didn't know what they were saying. Not really. So we have to have that kind of understanding. Take the good and leave what is not good aside, without judgment. Because the person I am today is not the person I was before. I don't think today the way I did think before. So we have to understand that the best way to get over all of this stuff is to be here now, to stay in the moment. Don't look over your shoulder, but always keep your eye on the trajectory ahead, right immer geradeaus. And all will be well. Now listen, have you noticed that the day is full of all kinds of everything? It's more than enough to focus to without having to stray into this and that and the other that happened way back when, or even yesterday, or even a moment ago. Leave it alone, as I always say. Leave it where it belongs. The past is behind you. Leave it there. And make room in that vast state of consciousness of yours for only that which is going to be your guiding light and truth that sets you free. And then nothing will disturb us, scare us, make us be afraid. Because most of what we're scared of and are frightened of and are afraid of is imaginary. Most of it. So this morning when I was thinking about us being together today, I was wondering, okay, Spirit, what would it be? There's so much to choose from, to hone in on. What do you desire? What are your wishes? Speak. And so this little book came out again. It's an old, old, old book. Small little thin thing. I'm not going to say who it's by because it's one or two people and I don't know which. At the moment I can't remember. The heading for this piece says, "The Christ is the harmonizer." The Christ is the harmonizer. Now Christ is seen as all kinds of things. Well, you know by now it's a power, it's an energy, it's a force. Very real and present energy, power and force. And it's to your use. You can use it. You were born Christed, but none of us realize that. And if we are, if you like, if we have set ourselves up for this lifetime to be consciously Christed, it's going to happen. But only because you already are that. All you have to do is to wake up into it, remember it. And if two people are on the same spiritual path, and it happens for one and not the other, You don't have to get upset if the other is not you. It doesn't mean they're advanced or ahead of you. They're not. That's their pattern for now. So there's no need to be envious of it. And the quickest way to get into a state of enlightenment is not to strive for it, not to try and make it happen. Quickest way to enlightenment is to thine own self be true. The quickest way to enlightenment is be the love that the world needs right now. The quickest way to enlightenment is genuine sacred service. Now, I don't know what you think about sacred service when you hear those words. And it's not that you're out rubbing and scrubbing, so to speak, spiritually, efforting and making things happen and forcing yourself to show up or whatever. It's not that at all. Sacred service is work on yourself to be the best person that you can be. And if you're working on yourself to be the best person that you can be, you are in sacred service, consciously. That's what it is. I can hold up my hand and volunteer for everything and anything and so on. But if I'm not in the right disposition, it's going to help momentarily. It really will help. But it's not some experience that will remain with me or stick with me. It'll be a temporary kind of feeling, a temporary high, so to speak. And as you know, in this life, there are so many people looking for highs of all kinds. They're trying to get a high, and God knows the weird and wonderful ways people go about that. But if we're looking for it and if we're trying to get it, we will probably. But it'll only be very temporary and momentary. The high, the spiritual high we're talking about, is really very natural. It's a natural thing. It's a natural sense and sensibility. No matter what's going on three-dimensional planet Earth or in your life, you always have a sense of all is well. You don't get yourself thrown by it. You don't allow yourself to get disturbed by it. You just say, well, this is interesting and I wasn't expecting this. And it's sort of kind of strange, but it's not mine to judge. All I know is I'm here to be all that I can be, and when I am naturally doing and being that, everything turns out for the best, and all is well. And there's no efforting to it, there's no forcing it, there's no pleading, there's no begging for it. It's just a very natural, normal thing. And each time you break into that experience, the spaces in between will be shorter and the length will be longer. And you don't get disappointed when it disappears, and you don't get over, hyper when it returns. And I say disappears and returns, three-dimensionally speaking, because it doesn't. What happens is you phase it out through your forgetfulness. You bring it back through your mindfulness. It's always with us. It's always who we are. But we're not always present to it. That's the only difference. We're not present to it. And just look at your life and ask yourself, well, how often am I present to whatever it is I'm doing or being in the day? I mean, you know that. You get into your car and you drive, and all of a sudden you're there and you never even realized you were driving, kind of thing, which is not good. But thank God for our good, strong, powerful, as we used to call it as children, guardian angels. So, it's so, spirituality and its unfoldment is so simple. We miss it. We miss it. We think, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do the other, I have to study this, I have to study that. And the list goes on and on and on. And I don't know how we started that a long time ago, to put that upon ourselves. No, all I have to do is get up in the day and realize the presence of God is right where I am. And I take it everywhere with me always. And that presence of God today is going to keep me on the straight and narrow. Or whatever way you have of remembering. So when you wake up in the morning, decide not to go into fuzziness. Decide, it's a new day. That's great. I'm glad I made it into it. It's good. Great good is ahead of me. I'm excited about it. Who knows what wonderful thing may happen today in my life. And you get out of your bed energetically. Oh my God, it's mine. Okay. Slippers. Bathroom. Honestly, we train ourselves so badly, don't we? There really isn't any need for it. And even if, you might have a little problem or a pain in the neck and so on, you still can get out sovereignly out of the bed and say, you're not the boss of me. You don't have control over me. And you will not have your way with me today. Whatever works for you. And you will come up with your own little ways of reminding you not to get up and start thinking, and whatever it is you're thinking about, what you have to do in the day, this and that and the other, it boils up to you thinking, I'm not equal to this day. I'm not enough to meet the day. Something in me is missing, something in me is lacking. I see these other people and they just seem to be all so together. And that too can be an illusion. Some people are very good at putting on a really good solid front. When you wake up in the morning, be honest with yourself. Look at yourself, see how you're feeling. See what you've been thinking as far as the day is concerned, what kind of a day you think it's going to be, which is automatic. And then stop it. Stop it. Why? Because you get to decide how today is going to be. Regardless of what the circumstances are, or the signs are out there, whatever. They're out there. Don't bring them in. Don't bring them in. Give them no entry if they are disturbing. Give them no entry. And remember, no person, place, or thing has power over you. Oh, somebody may be a big mucky-muck boss or this or that or the other. You're not their servant, and you're not subservient to them. You have chosen to assist them to be successful in their business by working for them. Got to be really sovereign in order to spiritually unfold and self-realize in a very, very kind and humble way. If you look at a day and you look through it and you see, well, who or what was the boss of me today? Where did I give up my power today? To what did I give my power today? whom did I give my power today? And anybody that makes you feel small, anybody who makes you feel less than, they're places where you simply abdicate your power. Because nobody can make you feel anything without your permission. Now, I know that's very difficult when you're dealing with powerful people in powerful positions with great authority. That can be difficult. But think of that person as a little kid and say to that little kid, "You're not the boss of me. You're not the boss of me. The only giant in my life is me." Start practicing that. Now you're going to laugh at yourself to begin with. You say, "Yeah, sure." But nevertheless, do it. The most significant and important person in my life is me. The most powerful person in my life is me. The most able person in my life is me. And let me tell you, we all get lazy at times. Let things slide. I mean, spiritually speaking, as well as any other way. What makes you think if we in life are letting things slide all over the place, we're not going to do the same spiritually? It would be impossible not to. It's a pattern. So every day, when you open up your eyes, any good thing could happen for you if you're open to it. Anything can be mended, anything can be fixed, anything can be healed. But you have to be on it. You have to be the foreperson of that. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Nor can you dilute it. The thinking, well, if I work that and work that and work that, you know? Because the mind's a trickster. The human mind is a trickster. It wants to be in charge. Tries to be in charge. And most of the time it is in charge. Do you think somebody who's been in charge for a long time is going to dispossess themselves of that power? So where are you right now in this day, in this moment, in this time? Where are you in the way you're thinking about your life, in the way you're thinking about yourself? The way you're looking into the day, looking into the week, looking into whatever. Where are you? And where are you coming from in all of that? Did you even put any thought into that today? Did you ever ask yourself in the morning, who do I want to be today? How do I want to show up? You think it's going to happen automatically? That everything is going to be la-di-da. Everything's going to open up before you, for your will to be done. The key is always the one key. How can I serve today? How can I be of help today? How can I expand life today? How can I make a difference in today? That's what does it. Why am I here? I am here to make a difference through being whatever good I can be in whatever situation I find myself. We're here not to be sinking stones. We're here to be raising agents like yeast. So at the end of the day, you can ask yourself, well, whose spirit did I raise today? What good did I bring to the world today? And a lot of the good that you bring to the world you won't see, you won't remember, because you won't recognize it as good. Genuine people who want to show up and make a difference in the world and not thinking, oh, look at me, look at all the good I have accomplished today. No. It's a question, a neutral question for you to ask yourself. Am I aware of aiding any kind of good today as I went about the business of the day? Or did I go about the business of the day? Did I just maybe laze through the day or let the day slide or not give it much thought? Or you'll know when you lose your enthusiasm. You need to get back on track. When you lose that sense of a new day, something good could happen in it. How will I be today? Play a little game with yourself. Who am I going to show up as today? The calmer, the soother, the healer. Who am I going to show up as today? The uplifter, the animator, the creator of smiles. Who am I going to show up as today? The server, paying attention to how I can serve. It's easy to serve. It's easy to create a good feeling in another, to put a smile on a face, and so on. I was having lunch on Sunday, and when I came out of the I was going into the restaurant. And I remember Sunday was Halloween. One of the staff members, serving staff members, was sitting on a bench outside, just sitting, his arm on the bench, just looking around. And when he saw me approach, he said, "Hello, how are you today?" I said, "I'm good, how are you?" "Oh." So I just happened to have some chocolate bars in my purse. So I just picked out one and I handed him the chocolate bar. Oh my God, you've never seen such difference in the man. He totally changed into this animated ball of energy. And you think I had given the man the crown jewels. I said, "Thank you so much." "Oh," he said, "you made my day." A bar of Kit Kat. Now a whole bar. Have a break, have a Kit Kat. It's little things like that that causes you to be what you're here to be. The giver of life, the bringer of light, the server. When I'm lining up too at the counter sometimes, I'm not telling you this to think, "Oh, isn't that sweet of her?" No. I want to tell you, these little things make the difference. Especially if I have to go to places like, don't have to, but I go to places like the Dollar Tree or the 99-cent store to get things for church, whatever it happens to be. I always put in an extra bar of chocolate, and then when they've cashed me out, I give them the bar of chocolate. Now it's like you've shocked them. It's like you've taken a cattle prod to them and shocked them. I'm telling you this so that you can find your own ways of doing the same thing and getting a high as a result. There's nothing sweeter. You may give some sweetness, but the sweetness you feel just from seeing the smiles on the faces and the change of a heavy, tired face into, it doesn't take much. It really doesn't take much. And anytime I'm cashed out, I'll always say, Thank you so very much for your service. I appreciate you showing up here every day to do this work so that we can have what we need. And you know, to begin with, some of them are so automatic they don't even hear. And then halfway through the sentence, they start to listen. And they'll say, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Do you see what I'm saying? Small little acts of kindness and recognition, because more than anything else, you have recognized the person. You have recognized the person. And you say a little something to them like, you know, I hope you get to go home soon. I hope you get to have your break soon. I know it's not easy standing on your feet all day long. Even if they're young, to stand on your feet all day long, but they're mostly not young in age. But some of the best service I've ever seen are in their golden years, and they have such a spry energy. It's amazing. They're so cheery. It puts you to shame. So today is really about spiritual practice. You want to know how to self-realize? Spiritual practice. What's spiritual practice? Just be awake. Be alert, be present. Don't walk by people blindly. If you can just nod at them and recognize they're there, that's a good thing too. You don't have to talk. I mean, we all have masks on our faces these days. And sometimes people pass by, and sometimes people will say hello if you're on a walk or something like that. But you can be the one to say hello too, you know. And these are little things that people do appreciate. Because in this world, most people are just flying by each other. We're like, you know, streams of traffic on the freeway. We're flying by each other to the point that we're pushing each other and elbowing each other, especially where there's dense populations in the big cities and so on. You can't wait to get through and you're manipulating your way and so on. And that can be the same in supermarkets and things like that. And it's not that you're deliberately doing that, it's just unconscious. For many, for some it's deliberate, it's unconscious. I just want you to know the power you have to make a difference in life and living and in your world. You have superpower. Superpower. Just a smile to somebody can pull them back into the moment and they'll smile back. Who knows where they were as they were walking along? If you can put a smile on a face in a day, your day was very worthwhile. And that's just one smile. Think of all the smiles you can create. You're not going to do it unless you're smiling inside yourself. A genuine smile. It's like a magic wand over people sometimes. We all wish we had a magic wand, don't we? Well, we do. We have more than a magic wand. We all wish we had a sorcerer's stone. We do. The stone of truth. We all wish we had a magic necklace. Even men nowadays wear necklaces, so they can have one too. But we do. The magic ring, the magic cloak, the magic hat. We all see these things and we say, wouldn't it be lovely to have one of those things? The magic room, you know, free flight. We have the magic within us. We have more in here than anything we could get out there. Do you see how untapped we really are? How hugely asleep we really are? How amazingly unconscious we are. And again, think about the amazing thoughts and pictures you could be entertaining in your mind. The glorious places you can be in your mind. And compare that to what's mostly in your mind throughout the day. It's the difference between a beautiful, big, white, shiny palace and a dingy, old basement. Thoughts create energy. Energy emit light. So, I'm just saying to you all, when you were finished here today, get out there and have a blast. Really. The first person to smile at is yourself. The first person to appreciate is yourself. The first person to be grateful for is yourself. The first person to serve is yourself. And if you can do those things for yourself, you'll have no problem doing it elsewhere and for others. And nothing will disturb you, and nothing will frighten you. Because you'll know that all things happen for some great good reason, and that God is in the midst of it. Yes? Well, are you ready for the best day you've had in a long, long time, if ever? Are you truly ready for that? I mean, don't say yes to what you don't mean. I'm going to ask you all one more time. Are you ready for the rest of this day to be the fantastic day that you would love? Yes. Okay. Most of you seem to be. But there's a few reluctant souls in here today. But I'm knowing for them it doesn't matter. They're going to be absolutely, gloriously surprised at how neat they are, and at how amazing they can be, and how capable they are of getting over themselves. I'm telling you, you have it all. You're not here to get anything. You're here to remember what you already have. And now I'm being waved at, so it's time for us to move into gratitude. Gratitude. Can you imagine? We have so much of all kinds of everything that, as my mother would say, you should be down on your knees every day thanking God. We have more than enough, because the basic necessities of life are not that much. But we have that and then some. And we are grateful for what we have. We have so much that we have to stuff every cupboard and stuff every garage, etc., with all the excess. And we all do it to some extent. For what? For whom? The children don't want your crystal. It's not in vogue for them. They don't want your china. It's not in vogue for them just now. After all your careful saving of it and non-use of it because it's for them. We're inclined to be like that. But we know deep down in our hearts and souls that if we're connected with our source, we'll never lack for any good thing. Never. We'll always have enough, and the enough will always be plenty. And from that plenty, we can share. Isn't that wonderful to know that? But as the scriptures say, let us not be speakers of the word, but let us be doers of the word. So we in gratitude now are going to hold our gift between our blessing hands, and we're going to feel good about this energy between our hands. That is a blessing going out from us to do good in the world some way. We're going to say, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, to prosper. All those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is. And so Ruthie's going to come and serve us in this way now. Thank you, Miss Ruthie. And if anybody has a question, or anybody has an insight that they suddenly had during the week, or anything to share, now would be the time to do that. Yes, my dear.
There's a movie coming out at Christmas called A Journal to Jordan. And the movie is the story of a husband and wife that he's off to the service. And she gives him a journal so he can write in it what happens with him as he's on a daily basis. And the theme of the movie is, it's not the time we have, it's the moments we share.
It's not the time we have, it's the moments we share, is the meaning of the movie. And it's called A Journal for Jordan. And it'll be out at Christmas. It sounds like a good book too. So we'll all watch out for that. Will we not? Yes. Always, whatever feeds you. You know, when you're watching television, make sure it's feeding you. Make sure it's feeling good. Don't watch anything that's just sucking the daylights out of you, sucking the oxygen right out of you, and making you feel slumped. Why do we do that to ourselves? And we do. So be careful what you're watching. Enjoy your television. It's there for your enjoyment. But don't let it upset you and annoy you and get you angry and all of that. Why would we do that to ourselves? It's a conundrum to me. So get your good self out there. You are a vortex of energy. Go out and spin that energy. And only by doing that alone, you'll be raising up the energy on the planet. Okay? Are we ready? Are we steady? Are we now going to go? Up and at it then. I'll see you next time. And all of you